do a reading for us? So we're setting up for a little Oestara reading and celebration. This is the day when the day and the night are of equal length, and it's the time of greening. So Oestara is the early Middle Eastern goddess of fertility, later recognized probably as Esther in the Bible, but Oestara is a commonly known fertility goddess, and that's what Easter celebrates, the resurrection of life. So here we have earth with my stones, hematite. I'm not sure what this is. Might be onyx. I'm not sure, but it's really pretty. I actually got this in a psychology class from a classmate. Air, feathers, fire, the candle, obviously, and some seashells. This one is from San Diego, the beach. It's kind of fractured, and these I think are just from a shop. So we've got earth, air, fire, and water. The cards that I'm going to use tonight, which is Cara Elizabeth's Animal Apothecary, Doreen Virtue's Angel Messages, and MJ Culinaire's Crow Tarot, which I use quite a bit and I love. So we have the ancient scarab, who is actually another symbol of death and resurrection, because he's a dung beetle that rolls the eggs up in mud, and then the eggs grow in the little mud balls and are reborn. So also, our goddess is a thirsty goddess. She likes to drink. So I am having some beer. It is said that the goddess Isis was tricked with red beer into not avenging the death of Osiris through inebriation. So anyway, this is for the goddess. I'll put it there so it won't fall. She likes to drink. Earth, air, fire, and water. We call in tonight the energies of love and light for the greater goodness of all, as we celebrate the resurrection of all. Hail and blessed be. Okay. Goddess Isis, Goddess Bridget, Goddess Oestara, all of the goddesses who overlook our lives, our new projects, which are part of fertility. Remember that all of these things don't only apply to sexual, biological reproduction, but also all of the fertility and fecundity in our creative and work lives. So anything that you have a question about for 2025, because this is the beginning of the new year according to many. It just depends, like, on your tradition. I think for Dianics, it's spring, because that's when the hunts begin. I'm not sure, but for Celtic pagans, like, our new year is Samhain, so November 1st. But it is good, I think. I'm on board with sort of the recent zeitgeist to to set intentions in the springtime. So let me see if I can get a little action going here. Come on, spirits, what do you want to tell us? Okay, because they both came out upside down. I don't know, that's kind of weird. Let me see something. Yeah, okay, well, I'll read them upside down. This is the first one that came out, the Chariot. The Chariot is empowerment. It's being seated in your power and mobility and motility. Let's look it up. Number 7, determination, willpower, drive, success. Element, water. The triumphant crow soaring through the stormy sky with fearlessness and strength rides a chariot of thunderous clouds to victory. The Chariot is a sign to go forward with confidence, knowing that your well-executed plan will be a success. It asks that you summon your power to fly above the barriers and soar through obstacles. The crow who rides victoriously on the chariot has learned to harness his aggression, extracting only the positive energy required to finish the task. I think that's a good foundational card for 2025. I'm going to put it over here. I can't remember which one came out first, but the Hanged Man, so this refers to the god Odin hanging upside down from a tree and getting the runes, which are oracles from wherever they come from. Like, there are a lot of theories about, and I've talked to you before about the left and right hemispheres of the brain, and how the birds are believed to be messengers of language, and that is received by the left hemisphere and crosses over to the right, and then becomes like an ordered society around language and the word. So the Hanged Man upright is vision seeking. Upside down, I'm gonna read the book, but my intuition says that we may be having a hard time receiving messages from the divine, and feel as if we're not getting the spiritual guidance that we need. The reversed Hanged Man feels as though he has been putting in too much effort compared to the amount of success he is seeing. It may also point to a person who has lost faith in his or her idea and is ready to give up without doing the necessary spiritual work that would help in finding a solution. Be careful, kitty. Be careful. So, I mean, I'm kind of thinking just intuitively about what's happening in the world, and how many of us are very afraid of what's happening, and maybe we feel that the divine isn't hearing us, listening to us. Some of our projects may be not being financed because there are forces at work trying to destroy the public sector, i.e., scientific research, libraries, school and education. Anything intellectual is being attacked right now. There's a huge anti-intellectual wave going through this administration and across Europe. So there's a huge right-wing wave happening, and they always go after intellectual ideas. To be fair, sometimes in any authoritarian, whether it's left or right, structure will destroy the intellectual class. Okay, so maybe it has something to do with that, just globally. Or maybe some of us in the collective are just feeling a lack of vision, or a lack of the resources to pull our vision into reality. I can relate with that. The Hierophant upside down. The Hierophant is like someone that knows religions. You know, the key. This is the key to like many texts, many cathedrals and churches, and you know there are a lot of stories of Muslims holding the keys for Christians because, excuse me, not for Christians, for Jewish in Palestine people, because the Christians were persecuting them, and so the Muslims protected them by holding the keys to their synagogues. This also happened with Christians, I think, under maybe the Ottoman Empire, there might have been some persecution. So Muslims have often protected other religions. So what we see happening in this idea of like what you think of as Muslim terrorists are actually something that the West created. So, but anyway, I'm getting off topic. The Hierophant is a person that knows the rules, knows the religion, knows the institutions inside out, upside down. Like they're very well scholarly, like informed. Let's look. And education, tradition, religious institutions, higher learning. The Hierophant crow is pragmatic and does not take unnecessary risks. This crow appears at a time when a conventional approach is needed to resolve a situation. And that's because they have the institutional knowledge. So we may need, for instance, to know the law so that we can fight for our rights. But it's coming in upside down. Many of us don't know the law. How many of us know the Constitution, can recite it? How many of us know constitutional law? How many of us really know how the sausage is made in Congress, in the House, where all of these things are happening to destroy our country right now, and around the world, people's rights are being destroyed. When the Hierophant appears reversed, it may imply a need to be less restrictive in your thought process and creative thinking. Okay, so that's kind of not the reading that I was having of this at the moment, because I'm kind of tying all of this to our global situation. But, you know, as somewhere out there in the collective, maybe your project that you feel isn't coming through for you, maybe you need to find a new path or avenue to make it happen. A new way of approaching your thesis, a new way of like resourcing what you need to grow whatever it is that you're growing, whether that's a family, a business, food on a farm. You might have to find new creative ways to accomplish what you needed. I think that this is our foundation, says that we have the power and the will and the determination, the strength and the skill set that we need. But our environment is a little challenging right now, and we all know that. We know that. We know what's happening. We know what's happening. I mean, some of you may not agree with whether this is a good or a bad thing that's happening in the world right now. But eventually, there's not anybody out there that's not going to be affected by what's happening unless we can turn it around. So, wow, I wish I had a little more positive something to bring right away, but that's what I'm going to do for tarot for tonight. I'm just doing this because it's a holiday, and, you know, I mean, we like doing it. We like doing it. We like learning together. So let's ask the angels for clarity. Let's see if we can get some clarity. Ugh, I'm not that good at shuffling. Angels, would you like to say anything, or is there anything from any angels that would like to speak to anyone in the collective? Is there a message that we need to know right now? Whoop. Okay. These don't have an upside down reading, really. They may, but I don't think they're. Let's see. Oceana came up first. Take action. You're in touch with your truth in this situation, and you need to trust your gut and lovingly assert yourself. I think that has to do with these. So we need to learn, like we need to either be very creative and sort of radical in our approach to our projects, and we also need to open ourselves up to inspiration. Yeah. Isaiah, it is a good time to give birth to new ideas and situations in your life. I am watching over you, guiding you, and protecting you during these changes. Okay. You know, and just full disclosure, these, I like the angel cards. They're not my favorite. I have once or twice gotten a really kind of uncanny card that, like, I had no idea that somebody was gone, and I got a message from somebody that was gone. So, okay, let's do one more. Ugh, they're so new and sticky. All of them are, actually. What? That's too many. That's too many. I'm not gonna. Okay, it seems like a bunch want to come out, so I'm just gonna do it. All right, I'm gonna turn them up because I have the whole deck upside down. Shake, release, heal. This has to do with nervous system healing. Face your fear, which I think has a lot to do with the Hanged Man. Maybe we're afraid of not being inspired, not knowing what we need, our inspiration and our resources not coming through. Face your fear. And then this one, and we got this before. You are about to shine, and I will read this. Let's see. Armadillo. Just as we see Armadillo wearing his armor of scales, this reinforces the idea of going inward. The inward work is exactly what allows us to shine outward, and that kind of refers to the Hierophant as well. Excuse me, I'm drinking beer. The Hierophant kind of relates to magician, hermit, and priest and priestess, in that, like, they're, you know, they've gone through their acolyte phase and they're a master of institutional knowledge. So, but it's upside down, so we might need to go inward, you know, and find a more creative way. Do not be led by outside validation. Instead, be led by the greater consciousness you were created from. We all have a special gift that lies dormant within us, waiting to actualize. In this moment of deep connection to the great mystery, a mysterious energy begins to activate our gift. This conversation and prayer you create needs to feel very real. Prayer does not need to look a specific way. It is an intimate communication with that which you were created from. Start speaking to life. If you create this intense and mystical relationship with life daily, you will begin to witness yourself unlocking all your gifts. Life speaks back to those who speak to it, but it is your job to start the conversation. You may not receive an answer right away, but it will come to you with full force in the perfect way at the right time. Armadillo's medicine says that you are about to be seen, heard, felt, witnessed, understood, and recognized. It's coming for you. You are about to shine so brightly. But now is the before time when you first must ignite your gift of light through going inward and channeling the universe. Wow, and that's the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man is the Odin hanging from the tree, getting the runes. And so go inward. Have faith. Like right now, you're just a little afraid it's not coming through. Have faith. Go inward. Hang. Keep seeking. And even though, this is a card of institutional knowledge, in the reverse, of course, we read that it said to find an alternative way. And I think that also speaks to going within. But here is our foundation, the Chariot, all of the skills that we have once we go through our healing, facing our fears, so that we can shine. So I'm just going to leave us with this. We have the Chariot, and we are about to shine. 2025 is going to have some challenges, but we have the strength and the skills and the determination. We just have to push through some obstacles and go deep within. You don't struggle just outside, but also inside. So we need to bring both internal and external resources. We need to bring every tool that we have to this, which is prayer, meditation, ritual, community with other people who are of like spiritual mind and who want and value freedom. And we also need to work both within and around the institutions that are being threatened right now and that threaten us. So I think it's overall positive, but it's encouraging us to not take anything for granted. We're going to have to do inner and outer work. So hail and blessed be.